What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Faithbound Travel, formerly known as Faithbound Travel.
Yeah, we have a new name.
We do have a new name. What's the new name, Dave?
Faithbound Family Adventures. He came up with it just like the last one.
Yeah, blame it on me. If you don't like it, blame it on me. Put it in the comments.
We actually took a vote, like a poll on Instagram, and this was number 2. I think Faithbound Family was number 1.
Yes.
But then I was like, but I want Faithbound Adventures, and then we were like, but I want Faithbound Family, so we just put both of them.
We're always doing something like.
Yeah.
To most people, not even viewers, just our own family members, they're like, you guys are wild. We're always doing something adventurous to them, but that's our
Life's
everyday
too short.
life.
Yeah.
Like, I promise, we really don't shoot videos to be like, hey, look what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally living this way. So that's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We try to keep it authentic around here, but without going too over the top, because that's not really how we are.
No.
But it seems over the top if you don't really know us. So, yeah, Faithbound Family Adventures, and we're still the same people. I'm still Joe.
I'm still Kathleen, and we still got a crazy crew of 3 kids, and we're just living life and hoping to inspire you guys to live yours to the fullest and take your leap, whatever that may be, and just kind of take you around little bits and pieces of our life to hopefully educate, inspire, and entertain at some point. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully at some point you've laughed along the way. In this video, we are talking about, this is actually kind of a sad video. It's bittersweet. This is gonna be our last, maybe not our last RV video, like with an RV, but it is
Probably
gonna
our
be
last dedicated just RV video. It's probably gonna be like, we're going camping.
Yeah.
And more of the area than like,
right.
This is what you do in RV life, because as you guys know, and maybe some of you don't, we no longer full-time RV.
But we wanted to kind of end this chapter with your RV assumptions.
Definitely.
And just get down to it.
Man, you gotta put it in there, the disclaimer. We sold our RV about, what, a month ago? Maybe 2 months ago now?
Yes, yeah.
Man,
in June.
Seems like yesterday, but literally like a month or 2 ago. And even our RV owners now have like messaged us, and like we're like, man, we haven't been in the RV so long.
Yeah.
We're like Googling stuff trying to remember. And I'm like, okay, I remember this, I remember that. And we were sitting one night just talking like how invested you have to be in our full-time RV travel to figure out, you're either gonna figure out what's going on with your rig and learn as you go, or you're just gonna spend a ton of money paying, some RV mechanic guy to come out, and he does this for a living, so he's gonna fix it in 2 seconds and charge you $200, or you can get on YouTube and Google, or even on some of the Facebook family groups, and like figure out what's going on now. That might take you a couple hours or a couple days, and you might try it and it still doesn't work, and then you gotta pay anyway. But I always say try it first and then spend the money later.
Yeah, so that is pretty much the biggest RV assumption. Let's just start it off with that one, that RVing is cheap. Some people assume that RVing is cheap. I know now though, because now there's a whole Instagram RV situation that's going on that was not there when we were RVing.
Yeah.
This whole,
when we first started.
Yeah, when we first started.
At the end, it became more apparent, like, RVing is becoming very popular because we were,
for a good reason.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I wouldn't go against why we chose to RV, but now it's almost faddish, right?
It's a lot different now.
So it's like a lot of we work with a very few brands compared to how many brands reach out to us, because it kind of has to fit our lifestyle, and then
and then we never want to recommend something to you guys that we don't like, and if we get something we don't like, we're gonna tell you. Right?
So it's like we are I would say we try to be the most transparent as possible online, because in real life that's how we're gonna be. Now you have a lot of people, they have these assumptions, which is why we're making this video, that you can, get a brand deal and they're gonna pay $10,000 a month and you're gonna be rich. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. RVing, I guess, going to the whole Instagram thing, people think that RVing is either, they used to think it was cheap, and now I feel like when they see it online, they see all these elaborate setups,
For sure.
and they're like, oh my gosh, this looks crazy expensive now. So it was like, it used to be people thought it was cheap, and now they're like, whoa, can I even do this? How do you make money on the road? All of this stuff. So is RVing cheap? It can be cheaper if you're not moving. Like we noticed when we were stationary, it was easier. Like, of course you're not going and seeing all these amazing places, but if saving money is your goal, maybe you're building a house on land, or you're waiting for something to be built, or I don't know, whatever it may be, staying in one spot definitely can save you money coming from a mortgage unless things break.
Yes.
Than like if you're traveling in the RV, but you're still gonna have costs.
You're definitely still gonna spend money.
Yeah.
That was like one of the ways I had negotiated Kathleen back into a house, is because we kind of sat down. I'm big on like numbers and analytics, so I sat down, I kind of like did the bills one day and added it up, and I was like, hey, this is where we're at in the RV, not moving in this resort style RV park, and we don't travel with it, you know, here and there. This is what we're paying. And then I'm like, if we were to rent a house and maybe not have this heavy duty truck and do this and that, and we're still not, you know, full timing, this is where we would be. And they literally were like off by a couple $100.
It was hard for me at first, but once you notice that, then I'm like, okay, for our goals in our life, it made sense for us to transition back into a house.
For sure.
But if traveling is what you want to do, and you just have to know that there are definite costs. RVs are more expensive, cars are more expensive, gas is more expensive. RV parks are booked up all the time now.
Diesel's crazy expensive.
But if that's your goal, just know, you know, have a budget.
Yeah, you have to have a budget.
Yeah.
I would say you almost, with the way things are going, there's so many different like measurables, like gas down here in Texas or Central Texas. Gas is going down, diesel's kind of staying the same. And I know a lot of people have bigger trailers now because they're like, well, we want to do it, but we want a little more space. And then we have friends that they started out in a travel trailer before they even got on the road. They got a fifth wheel. And then, you know, they're now even looking at possibly going to a bigger truck and a bigger trailer to have the space because they come from a bigger home. With, you know, bigger animals and stuff like that. They want the space to be able to work and enjoy. But when you add those things, you're looking at newer costs, because now you're paying the inflated cost on an RV. You're paying the inflated cost on a truck, and gas is fluctuating ever so, like every day.
Every day.
The prices are different. They're either lower or they're higher, but diesel's not really moving. And I know we have really good diesel prices. Just off of polls we do on Instagram. In Central Texas, we have really good diesel prices.
So we've talked about this before. Know why you're RVing, and you know, budget accordingly. And will it be cheap? Will it be expensive? That's gonna be.
It's up to the. It's like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. What's expensive to you?
Exactly. So another person asked, or assumed. I assumed less space, less stuff, less mess. No.
Lies.
It does. You do have less stuff. That is definitely true, because there's no physical. There's no possible way to get everything in a house in an RV now. Have people done it? Some people have.
We have met people where they have toy haulers and that entire garage area is slammed full of stuff.
But we just made sure that everything had a space and a spot, and we were still sweeping every day, cleaning every day, because a smaller space, clutter looks more cluttery faster. So it's just
15 minutes, that whole RV could be.
But then there's the other side to that. It takes a lot less time to clean. So, I don't know.
Squeaky clean. Like, if we deep clean, probably at the house, we probably deep clean once a week, right? So, deep cleaning the RV was like maybe once a week as well. But instead of it being like 2-3 hours deep cleaning the house, it's literally like 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30, 45 minutes.
Like max.
If you're just doing the outside or the inside.
If you're just doing the inside.
Not washing the whole outside.
Yeah, it picks up, and that's from it being like a disaster. Because in the house, it's not a disaster. It's like just picking up clutter here and there, doing laundry.
Yeah.
RV, if it's a full-blown disaster, 30, 40 minutes done.
Wanted to take a quick minute and thank today's sponsor, RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. If you have watched this video and any of our videos before, you know that we love Brooklyn Bedding, and we don't say that lightly. As we mentioned earlier, we don't work with very many brands. Not only have they been amazing to work with and get to know, but their beds are so comfortable. We first got ours when we were in the RV, and we chose a signature hybrid just because we didn't want it too firm or too soft. So they also have a size guide that will enable you to basically choose whatever size you need. So in an RV or not, it is absolutely perfect. Each mattress is made right here in the USA, and they offer free shipping to your door, a 10-year warranty, and a 120-night sleep trial. So if you decide you don't like it, you can send it back. But I promise you, after sleeping on an RV mattress, or any other mattress to be exact, you will not be disappointed. We have absolutely loved ours, and when we were in the RV, it was perfect because we could bring it in the box to the bedroom, open it, and get it in there. This was a king-size bed, and it fit perfectly in the RV. I will mention that we did take the mattress out of the RV when we sold the RV because we love it so much, and getting it out of that room, a king-size mattress out of that room, was a feat in itself, and it was pretty hilarious watching us getting it out of the RV. But we did it, and we actually have it in our room right now. So thank you, RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, for sponsoring this video. If you are interested in purchasing one for yourself, visit rvmattress.com/faithboundfamily and use code faithboundfamily for 20% off your mattress. All right, let's get back to the video. So another thing is you will fail your kids if you live this life.
Lies again.
Did we fail our kids? I don't know. We did not fail our kids.
Yeah.
You will not fail your kids if you do this life. And in fact, I feel like you will help them even more. Just have all these different experiences and exposure to different things.
Definitely. The exposure to different things, to different lifestyles, to different people that don't look like you, people who have different ideals than you, but they share a common denominator of we like to get out in nature, we like to be close with our family, we don't really value all the little tinks and tricks that you can get on Amazon to my door every day. That is to me unmeasurable, even if you are sending your kids to public school every day, because they're gonna only be around kids in the same mindset, same lifestyles. They're not gonna really be able to get around people who are in homeschool if they're in public school, or get around people who do different religions and different backgrounds, because like in our RV park when we were stationary, there were public school kids that went to school every day. Some walked, some rode the bus, some got dropped off. There were homeschool kids, and there were also kids that did the homeschool online, which is like, I would say that's like the hybrid. Like you have a public school style teacher, but you do it at home. Your parents don't teach you. And you can see that the kids are practically no different. It's just what's imparted into them all day long. What do they hear? What are the little conversations? Is little Timmy showing them some craziness on Instagram or YouTube, or is it their own brother in the room? So
and if you're worried about your kids being like social, having friends, there are a ton of groups.
Ton of groups.
And
there's a ton of kids in the
and a ton of kids, like that you can get plugged into. There's Thousand Trails is a big one. Full-time Families is another one, and there's just a bunch. There's a bunch of different ways to get your kids involved if you're worried about them, like, not having friends. Next one says that a good date night seems impossible.
So this is along the lines of the whole beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because it's like, what is a good date night? that could go a million different ways. That's kind of like a lot of the questions we kind of get online. They're real general and vague, and it's like it could go a million different ways. But for us, we figured out a way to be able to get little date nights, and then we started just valuing the time alone.
Yeah.
So we would try to wait until the kids go to sleep and then go outside, and we'd have drinks or whatever and kind of talk, or we would go for walks and get our own time. And then once our kids were kind of old enough, we would be able to leave them for little periods of time, but not go far. Like maybe walk down to the river, which was only like maybe 200 yards away.
Yeah, it was really nice. And it just depends on, like he said, like what you think is a good date night.
Yeah, we're not partiers, so like we don't do like going out to the club and bars and stuff.
Yeah.
If you were into that, I could see that being kind of difficult. You'd probably have to get around family.
Yeah.
And then, or like RVers that you really like trust with your children. But I don't know, man. My youngest son, you would have to be a special type of person to be around him. He's very cute, but after a couple hours, you might be calling me like, hey, can you come back? And I'm not coming back until we're done. So that's just like, I don't know, you have to make it work with whatever way you want to be able to get out. Yeah. But it is possible. It's not impossible.
It's definitely not impossible, but that is another question. Someone said that sexy time is tricky.
That's an assumption. I would almost say that's not an assumption. That's a truth.
Yeah.
Because you do have to figure out. It takes you some time to figure out.
White noise machines.
What the method is going to be. All that kind of depends. What kind of rig do you have? You know.
How stable is it?
Stabilization. You got to work on that stuff. You got to be looking online at the newest.
I'll just say we wouldn't have done it so long if it was that tricky. I'll just say we wouldn't have done RV life if it was that bad.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know. If you're going as a family, that means that you already figured out how to be able to have more kids while having kids. So with that in mind, you'll figure out the rest.
Okay, next one. I assume everyone would love it if they'd give it a chance. I can kind of see that.
That's an assumption for sure.
Yeah, because it depends on the person.
It depends on the people.
Because
you can always have one person in the relationship that absolutely loves RVing.
Yeah.
And if the other spouse is not a part of it, they're not feeling it, it will be miserable for everybody.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know, because I used to go through this thing like once a month where I was like, for about 3 days, I'm like, I don't know.
It's around the time things were breaking.
Yeah. When you get that phantom break that you're like, I knew it was coming, I just didn't know it was going to be today when I need water.
Yeah.
That type of stuff.
And then the water pump is broken? What?
It's like, could be a water pump on the day that you want to be in the shower, taking a shower. It could be the whole electrical grid in the RV wants to stop working.
There's a lot of things to think
when
about.
You need to use it to do some type of school or at the time I was in college, the generator goes out. I have no power. I can't do this report. So now I got to go to Home Depot, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But everything works great when you don't need it. But when you need it, that's when it wants to break. And that's when I was like, you know what?
Yeah. So another assumption is that it's what he was saying, stressful at times, but allows for growth within the family with working and being together. Definitely. Totally agree with that.
I agree with that. I don't think that's an assumption. That's the truth. That's a full-blown truth. Until you learn and grow, because RVing made me grow a lot as a person, and even like now, I'm still growing. I don't think anyone should ever stop. But with the RV, I was a completely different person than I am now. I have way different understanding of dealing with different types of people. I was real like, not militant, but military veteran mindset. So I only really hung out with other military veterans. Those are my friends. Those are my people. So, because we all kind of have the same train of thought.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't family or military veterans, I literally would like not say a word. Like,
and now, like when we were RVing, there will be times where Joseph's like down the way, like talking to somebody, and I'm like, oh, he's just talking to the new person in the RV, or like just someone else over there. And then the kids just got used to, oh, daddy's outside talking, and like, it was just so funny because I am not that way.
Yeah, now I'm super social, especially with the store. Like, people come in all the time, and it's like, what's up? How can we help you? And it's always like a smile, which is wild because before RVing, I didn't smile a whole lot. But it wasn't because I was angry.
No.
It was just my resting face. You know? My resting face was more angry looking.
And now you're just joyful. You're just happy.
You start realizing RVing really showed me a lot of like all the things you have to be thankful for. That when something does go wrong, it's not a big deal.
Right.
You're really like, okay, cool. This is broken, and I may not be able to take a shower tonight. But this,
we'll figure it out together.
Yeah, you start understanding what really matters, like in life. At least I did.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one's
the last one's a good
one. The last one is that RVing is only for white people.
White people.
White people.
Yeah, my name is Joseph White. I guess it is for white people. No, I'm kidding. We met. Because I kind of was under this assumption too when we started.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
That at the time we lived in Arizona, and really all my friends that camped and stuff like that were white.
Doesn't mean that it's only for white.
No, because we ended up going out. We did it anyway because that's kind of like our thing. That's why we're Faith-Bound Family Adventure. We did it anyway. We full time. And I met a lot of black people, a lot of mixed couples, a lot of Hispanic people. Pretty much every nationality RVs, whether it's full time, whether it's weekend, whether it's trips here and there. Everyone RVs. I think it's just so many more of one nationality promotes RVing that it doesn't look like many more nationalities RV. But it's not true. The more you get out, the more you see, of course, like exposure leads to mind expansion.
Yes.
So you have to be able to expose yourself to different things, not everything, but different things, and you will start understanding that the reason why. Because we neither one of us came from like a RVing background.
I never even tent camped.
No, and we're from Florida, and Florida's like one of the biggest RV places. My understanding of RVing was like you had to be rich, you had to be old and retired to do it. Yeah. And the only RV was a motorhome. There was no other kind of RVs. But that was, young, naive, and you don't know any better. So I really just think it's that. There's a lot of people aren't exposed to seeing, which is a cool part of like how our channel kind of has been growing. And a lot of people have been reaching out saying that they kind of started following us or were attracted to us because we were a mixed family and we were doing all the things that were considered taboo in the RV world.
Yes,
but there's plenty of people.
Shouldn't be that way.
I was RVing with dreadlocks, hanging out, doing my thing.
And we never once felt like we were gonna we never really felt unsafe ever.
No. Now, we never RV'd in like the deep south. We went to Texas, we went to Louisiana. Louisiana's technically deep south, but we were never like in the super deep south. The thing that I will tell you about RV parks over just being in everyday life is people in RV parks and resorts have a common understanding of why they do what they're doing for this lifestyle. So I highly doubt, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I highly doubt that you're gonna ever have someone blatantly come up to you and disrespect you because of your nationality in an RV park. RV people are always, for the most part, good. Weekenders, when you full-time, kind of annoying, but
they're just trying to have
it's just because they're letting loose and you're like, I live here. But it is what it is. I think it's something you have to see, and then we learn to appreciate because I'm like, you talk to these people who are weekending and they're like aspiring to live full time, but they don't see how, or maybe they can't. And they're just literally trying to enjoy these next 2 days to the fullest. And I'm like, I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely can respect that because we did that. That's how we started. We weekend and we were outside lighting fires and like, I'm sure we were being loud and the kids were out there, we're throwing rocks and everything, and the full-timers, I'm sure, were looking at us like, oh my God. But it is what it is. You learn to grow and respect and understand why people do what they do. And then always, no matter where you go, RVing in a neighborhood, you're always gonna have the people who are they're just wilding all the time. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they generally have loud cars. Yeah, you just have those people. You just gotta understand that they have a reason for being and doing what they do. Maybe they're not as mature as you yet. Maybe that's why you're there to show them the way.
But yes, RVing has done a lot for our family, and we're just thankful for you guys for being here. I hope this video was entertaining in some way, and you learned something, and you just aren't afraid to get out there if that's what you want to do.
For sure. If you guys are worried about the expense of everything right now, I would say budget. Try to get rid of as much debt as you can before you start, but don't let that stop you.
Yeah.
Because things have been expensive our whole lives, and we've always figured out a way to make what we want to do work. And if it's really what you want to do, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Social media is not your friend when it comes to comparing what you have to what they're doing. Do what you can afford to do and get out there.
Yeah.
And then as you grow, you will get more and do more. That's just natural, you know what I'm saying? And just be thankful for what you got, man.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so next video, we have some pretty fun news. He's kind of already talked about it.
Yeah, store thing.
So be on the lookout for that video. We have vlogged a big next step in our lives. We hope you will be here for that video, but until next time, we will see you in the next video. Bye guys. Okay.
You're like low-key nervous right now. You're acting like a noob.
I am. What is going on?
Get it together.
Okay, you ready?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
What's up?